Hey, welcome back to this channel. I'm Fabulous Julian. We're looking at the two sides of marketing most business owners don't understand. I would like you to come with me on this journey because it's something that I've never shared before. Most business owners are copying the wrong things out there. I see different things and I receive different questions from business owners. They see someone posting reels, running ads, traveling for business meetings, sharing sales screenshots. I believe you know the things I'm talking about, attending events, collaborating with influencers, and they think that that is marketing. But that is only the front end of marketing. What you see out there in public is just the surface, and we're going to look at the back end and the front end of marketing. Behind every successful business is a back end that nobody talks about. And I believe at the end of today, you will see that you have more work at the back end. And if you ignore the back end, the front end will never work. But the surprising thing for someone listening to me right now will be that it looks like front end work. So you put out a post, you see some likes, you see comments, but it's still not working because if it's working, you will see much more than what you are seeing currently. So today I want to show you how these two sides of marketing, most business owners never understand how they actually work. I had to use this to illustrate what I'm talking about. The front end are things like social media posts, paid ads, reels and stories, storefront or office, the cars, the travels, the meeting, the money, sales, grants, loans, seed funds, exhibition, influencers. But there is a back end. The back end is where you discover the problem, the pain points, the challenges. That's where you think of the solution that will match the problems you've identified. It's at the back end that you ask, how will you get paid for the solution you have created? That's where you ask, who will buy the product or service that I have just created? How will I reach the people that have the problem I want to solve? It's at the back end, you say, where will I actually find them? That is where you ask, how much will I charge? How much should I earn? Who will I hire? It's at the back end that you take a step back and look at the situation of the product, the service, or the business itself. You look at the environment, you look at competition, you look at your strength, your weakness, the threats. These happen at the back end. That's where you set your goals. What do you want to achieve? How many of these do you want to sell? What number of sales? Those things are not the things you see at the front end. It's at the back end that you develop your marketing strategy. You craft your marketing tactics. You have an action plan in place. You measure success. Is this thing working or not? This is also where you ask yourself, how do I stay afloat despite what is happening? All these happen at the back end. The front end is everything that you see on social media or when you go to the office or when you are out there in the streets. Is the part of marketing that the public interacts with. And I have mentioned a few of them. I've said social media, stories, influencers, product launches, conferences, announcement, all the big things happening, the PR, media features. This is the front end of marketing. Let's see the back end. But before that, because this is what people see every day, many business owners believe that that is where marketing starts from, but that is not where it starts from. It doesn't start with posting. It doesn't start with content creation. It doesn't start with running ads, but that is what a lot of business owners do because that is what they see at the surface level. So they start posting. Once they have a product or a service, the next thing they create a social media account, they start posting, they put the status out there, they put the paid ads, they start creating content. Now, I'm sure you know a lot of people now act as content creators and they are business owners. They start running ads. Now, these things are not bad, but there is an order that is being mismatched. Well, then something strange happens. They post consistently, they follow all those instructions by online gurus, yet the business doesn't really grow the way it should. I'm not saying businesses are not growing, but if today you're doing 3 million, you're doing 5 million, if you get both the back end and the front end right, you can triple what you're currently doing. You can triple your current income. That is what I am saying. So why is it that they still struggle despite all the front end activities? Is because they skipped a lot of steps on the back end. Before the front end exists, there is a back end marketing decision that must happen. I've read them out to you and I would like to read them again for a reminder. You discover your problem that you want to solve, the pain point, the challenges of your customers or your prospects. You think of the matching solutions, how you will get paid as a business owner to keep the lights on and all that. Who can buy this solution that you have created? How will you reach them? Where will you find them? How much will you charge? Situation analysis. You set your goals or objectives, put out a marketing strategy to consistently sell, craft the tactics that will support your strategy. You have an action or implementation plan. How will you measure? What are the controls? What are the KPIs? How will you stay afloat in this business? At the back end, there are some questions, critical questions every business owner needs to answer. What problem exists? Every strong business, every sustainable business begins with a problem to solve, a pain, a frustration, a need. I'm going to do another video where we dive into some known brands that will give us the understanding and the clarity. There was a problem that Airbnb saw. There was a problem that Uber saw. There was a problem that you saw. Sometimes we don't sit down to name these things. We saw a problem, and that's why we created the marketing clinic. These videos will come and we will learn together. So without a real problem, there is no business because you are a solution provider. So there must be something that is not working. There must be a need. There must be a frustration. There must be a pain for your product or service to solve. That is why your business exists. Question number 2, what solution solves that problem? You must be able to define what it is. Once the problem is clear, the next question becomes what product or service can solve that problem effectively. This is where business design the offer, whether it's a product or a service. Question number 3, who exactly has this problem? Not everyone is your customer. I have been saying this and I need you to also go out there and Google. Not everyone is your customer. So the next question becomes who specifically needs this solution? This is where customer clarity comes in. How will the business make money? How will this product or service bring you money? Many businesses fail because they skip this question. How will you get paid? How will you pay staff? How will you pay your rent? How will you buy machines? Will it be one-time payment? Will it be subscription? Will it be packages? Will it be licensing? Will it be pay as you go? This is business design. And question number 5, where do these customers exist? You cannot sell to people you cannot reach. You cannot sell to people you do not know. Businesses must answer this question. Where do our customers spend time? It could be on Instagram, LinkedIn, physical markets, corporate networks, communities. It could be in church. It could be in the mosque. This determines distribution, where you will go and distribute your product or service. Question number 6, what is the strategy to reach these people with your product or service? Now you develop your strategy, your tactics, come up with a marketing system, a repeatable marketing system that you will use to sell to these people over and over. And this is the engine behind marketing, not the platform, not social media. So the next time you see a successful business, whether it's offline or online, just remember something, that what you're seeing is the front end of marketing. But what made that business you're seeing possible is the back end. If you start with the front end, marketing feels exhausting. But if you build the back end first, the front end becomes powerful and effective. Actually, the front end is supposed to support, is supposed to amplify what you have done at the back end. And this is how many small business owners get stuck, because they don't know so much about the back end, but they've been taught a lot about the front end, even when it's not complete. Because there are other videos, please check and watch them to learn. There is a lot of misconception, there is a lot of elements missing in the things we are doing as business owners. And that's why we have created the marketing clinic, where you identify the gaps, you look at the steps that you skipped and the foundation that are existing, maybe zero or half or weak foundation, so you can fix them. So my charge to you is back end, front end, they work hand in hand. Don't just sustain yourself or hang on the front end. Look beyond the front end. Fix your back end. And talking about fixing, that is why we have created the marketing clinic. Because marketing is not what you post. Marketing is what you build before the posts. Before business owners start creating content, before they start running ads, before they even think of using our services, we ensure that they walk through the marketing clinic, where we fix your money and your marketing foundation. There are gaps that are existing in your business. There are foundations that you have skipped. And even if you feel, I'm sure I have everything right, go through the marketing clinic to ensure that everything is okay before you do whatever, whether it's to use paid ads, you want to hire a social media manager, whatever it is. Don't just go to the front end, check the back end. Click on the link in the description to join the free marketing clinic. Yes, it's actually free. The videos are recorded. You will watch them. You will note the things that align with your business so you can fix them. If you learned something today from this video, I would like you to hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so. Leave a comment. Let me know that thing that really stuck with you today. Share this video with a business owner that you know will find value in this. And if you found this very useful, I encourage you to watch the next video to learn something new. I'm Fabulous Julian, and I'll see you in the next video.